This is the system that I have built. This is how it looks like. First of all, it finds the profiles of whoever the prospect is. And usually that is a LinkedIn list because LinkedIn is having the biggest network of people who might be your prospective customers. So once we find the profiles, then we find the phone numbers of all the qualified people in our list. That is a hard part. Now, the AI would analyze each and every LinkedIn profile by going to it one by one. And the way we'll prompt the AI is that it will create a persona of a person depending upon what information is there on their LinkedIn profiles. And then the AI will craft a personalized pitch, which is only specific to that person and relevant to their business. And then the AI will call those prospects depending upon what time or what other details we'll put inside it. And all of this system is going to be completely automated. Can you imagine finding profiles, finding their phone numbers, analyzing each and every LinkedIn profile, customizing a pitch suited to that particular person and their business? And this is exactly what I'm going to teach you in this video. So just as an overview, this is how the system works. So first of all, there's a scraper which finds the emails of the people who are in your prospective lists. And then there's a phone number finder. And then there's LinkedIn profile links, which are analyzed by the AI one by one. And then the AI crafts an offer for every individual LinkedIn profile. And then the AI call happens, which is in accordance to what profile the AI has created of that particular prospect. That's all of it. Now, what is an average cold emailing setup? Usually, when we do outreach, there is one thing that is most common and everybody is doing it, and maybe you are also getting 10 emails a day of people cold emailing you about something. The problem with that is it is a very complicated setup, and you can see right now, this is just the first step of how you will set up a cold emailing campaign if you want to do anything with that. So even to set up things, you have to do all these DKIM verifications, SPF verifications, DMARC verifications, and then fix if things are broken, and then check the availability and monitor it constantly. And then if something happens, troubleshoot it again, go back to the process and do all of that again and again. The problem with that is every inbox is already cluttered. There is no way that you can invent some new strategy that can cut through the noise and land up straight up in your prospects inbox on the top. It can happen, but it's going to take a lot of effort. And while doing all of that, the average reply rate of your email campaigns is only about 0.5 to 1%. So all of this and more just for this amount of reply rate. Think about it. And just to give you an overview, these are all the things that you have to do just to start your email campaign. You have to scrape the list. You need something like Apollo, something like that. It would cost you something around $60 a month. You have to set up domains, and you cannot use your primary domain because if that gets flagged, your primary business is gone. So you have to buy multiple domains. Usually people buy 10 to 20 domains, which is like $20 a year. Then you'll have to set up email inboxes, which is like Google or Microsoft, which is like 10 or 12, which is like $10 per inbox. So if it's 20 inboxes, it's like, so if it's like 20 inboxes, it's going to cost you around 200 a month, right? Then there's warm up. So you cannot send emails directly. You have to warm things up, and warm ups usually cost something around $30 to $40 a month. That's the cost. And then you will sign up for some platform that sends email sequences to your list, and that might also cost you something around $30 to $40 a month. And then you'll have to set up automations to follow up to people who are interested but are not replying right now. And even while doing all of that, you have constant fear of getting banned or blacklisted by email providers. Like even if you have a spam rate of 0.5%, you will completely get blacklisted. And that is why you do all of that, multiple domains and all of that stuff. So all in all, And then you have to start this whole process all over again if you get flagged or if you get banned, which you will at some point of time. All in all, this is the kind of time and effort that you will spend just to get an reply rate of 0.5 to 1%. Is that worth it? I don't know. You tell me. But here comes my strategy of doing phone calls instead of emails. If somebody receives any phone call, they immediately stop whatever they're doing and they receive it. That's what you want. You want to break through whatever somebody is doing and try to get their attention in what you are trying to speak. So it cuts through the clutter and it gets instant response. Now, the thing is, it's also a high risk category because people get really annoyed if you spam them with nonsense things on phone. You will be blocked before you can cut your phone, and that makes it high reward as well. So there is no reward without the risk, and this is what we are taking right now. So in this, I'm going to give you a 100% automated setup with minimal costs, which is going to set everything for you. And all you have to do is find out what your offer is and find out who's a prospective customer who's going to buy it from you. And if you do these two things correctly, everything will work accordingly. And if you don't do even one of that correctly, everything will fail like a pack of cards. So let's start with the actual flow. So it's going to be, first of all, we'll scrape the data, then we'll have OpenAI process it, and then we'll have a Google Sheet store whatever we have processed, right? So the first thing is, for the LinkedIn scraping prospect, the best tool out there is Apollo. So this is the Apollo platform, and this is the only tool that has the most accurate information about all of the LinkedIn prospects that you will be scouting for this particular automation. Now let's see the pricing of Apollo, and let's switch it to monthly just for simplification. So they do have a free tier, but it's extremely limiting with only 100 credits per month. Then we have a basic with 5,000, and then we have a professional with 10,000, and then org with 15,000. Okay, and if I see what a credit means, this means that one email means one credit and one phone number is 5 credits. So for 5,000 a month, you will only get about 1,000 phone numbers at $59 and 2,000 phone numbers for $99. That is quite steep. Now the way around that is a platform called Apify. So this is the platform which is called Apify, and Apify has something called as actors, which are pre-made tools and pre-made automations by the API by people, which then are hosted by the Apify store. So let me give you an example. These are the Apollo lead scrappers that are right. So they have all of these scrapers and tools that are available at a fraction of a cost which any service would charge for. For example, if there is, let's say, a Google search scraper, even though, so for us, we'll go to lead generation right here, and what we are looking for is this one, the Apollo scraper, and this just costs pennies compared to the actual plans of Apollo. For example, you will only pay for about $1.20 for 1,000 leads, which tells me that if you go to, let's say, go to Apollo, and we have like 1,000 phone numbers in this particular plan, because one phone number was 5 credits and it's for $59, and here we can get the same thing by only spending $1.20. Isn't that amazing? So this is the first hack that you can use, and you can scrape up to 50,000 leads per search URL. Now, what's a search URL? A search URL is the URL that you'll input to this scraper by going to the actual Apollo account. So let's create a free account in Apollo and let's get inside it. Okay, so this is a free account, and if we go to people, you will see that Apollo has 2.17 million people listed inside their platform right now. Now we can't have all of this, but what we have to do is we'll have to just search for what we are looking for. So let's say we are searching for real estate agents. Okay, so these are all the real estate agents that it has come up with. So it has almost 3,000 leads that we can access right now. Now, once we have done all the searches, the only thing that we need to supply to the Apify agent is the search URL of this page. So let me copy this from right here. Let's go back to our Apify scraper. Once we have pasted the URL right here, we'll put a create task. The task is created. Now let's click on the start button. And this run has completed, and you can see it has fetched about 448 results. And if we have to export it, we have the option to export these into JSON, CSV, XML, or whatever we wish. We don't have to export it because we want to create an automation now. Now to do that, we'll go to our favorite tool, which is make.com. So we come here and this is our automation. So I'll just explain briefly what this does. First of all, it will get the dataset items from our Apify actor. And then, so for example, we have like around 448 results. Where is that? Yeah, we have around 448 results. So this node will fetch all the 448 results at once. Now, what was our plan? Our plan was to process every single data one by one with OpenAI, which is this node. So the plan is that we will pass all the LinkedIn URLs found in this dataset to the ChatGPT node one by one, and I'll let the ChatGPT node look at those profiles, create a persona of those people, and write a script for our cold caller agent. So let's try this one. So first of all, we'll need a dataset ID, which we'll find right here. So if we click on export, we'll have this thing as dataset ID. So we'll copy this and we'll paste it right here, and we'll do everything as it is. So I put a limit, let's say, of 10 right now. You can have it a lot more, but I'm just keeping it 10 for this particular example. So I click save. Then the next node is going to be an iterator, which is that we want to pass these things one by one, not at once. We don't want all of these things to come at once in our ChatGPT node. So we'll add an index as an array inside this node. And here is my ChatGPT node. So what you have to do is you have to create a chat completion. And I have chosen the GPT 4.1 Nano node because Nano is the latest and the cheapest model of OpenAI right now. And the role that you will give the assistant is you are an expert profiler and can figure out interesting things just by looking at a LinkedIn profile. This is what we want. And then we'll do a user. So we'll have to look at the profile of, we have to give the name of the person, right? So we'll put the name right here and the LinkedIn URL would be right here. So we'll map both the things, and this is my prompt. Look at the profile of this person's name here. This is the LinkedIn URL. Figure out what business they are in, what do they do, and prepare a short but compelling pitch to sell voice AI agent solutions to them. Just output the pitch in plain text with no explanations. Do not offer any explanations whatsoever. It's important that I tell it to not explain anything because usually ChatGPT starts to explain things when it's outputting any result. I'll also keep all of these prompts and blueprints in the description so that you have all the things that I'm doing right now right here. And this is the default, so I click save. Now the next thing I'll do is I'll have a Google Sheet which I have prepared right here for you. So this is a cold caller sheet in which I have prepared these fields: first name, last name, title, industry, LinkedIn, email, phone, city, and pitch. So this is what we have to fill, and all of these would be filled by the Apify node, and this one is going to get filled only by the ChatGPT node, right? So just to give you an example of how to map things. So first name, we'll have to put the first name from Apify, last name from Apify, title from Apify, and all of this. But the pitch is going to be a result of our ChatGPT prompt, right? So this is the initial and the first automation that we will do to make what we are doing successful, right? So let's run. Let me make it side by side so that you see how things are going in. So we'll do right, left, and I'll run this. Okay. So the data is coming in and it's running 4, 6. Okay. Nice. And let's see what it has done. So it has pulled all of these people, first name, last name, title, LinkedIn URL, and email, phone number, and the city. And the chat GPT has made specific, personalized, compelling pitches to sell to every single person, which is totally crazy. And all of this is happening right now in front of you as I show you everything. So if we go to this one, let's say we go to this profile, real estate. This is Keller Williams Realty. So if we go to, so here it is, Keller Williams Realty team, imagining power of real estate agent, intelligent voice AI agent that transforms client interactions. So that's a pitch. And this is pretty amazing, and I've also put a field which is called. So all of these are not called yet, which we'll do in the next automation. So you understood how this one works. Now the next automation is going to be how to call these people. So once we have the data, once we have the phone numbers, once we have the pitch, now the next step is how to call these people. And for that, we'll use our old friend VAPI. We can also use Retell. It doesn't make a difference, but that's what we'll do. So this is the automation for the AI caller. Our initial trigger would be the Google Sheet, which is this sheet right here, and we'll take up and we'll search the rows for which the called option is no. So this call flag has to be no for it to be present right here. And I've put a filter on it right here. And so what this will do is it will forward only the rows which have the flag set as no right here to the aggregator right here. And you can check whatever fields you want it to pass forward inside this. That doesn't matter. And then I'll have to put an iterator. What this will do is when the array aggregator takes all of that data, iterator would pass it on one by one. And this is the call node that we will configure on our VAPI dashboard. Let's go to VAPI. So I'm inside my VAPI dashboard and I'll go to assistant and I'll create a new assistant and I'll just say AI call prospecting and I'll start with a blank template. Okay. So I'll create this and okay, so let's try to make the prompt. So the first message could be, and if you don't know, this is a dynamic variable which will be taken from our sheet dynamically because the name is going to change for every single run. I have also made a separate video just explaining what dynamic variables is. You can find that on my channel. If you're confused about this, you can watch that, but let's move forward in this one. So let's create a system prompt. The best thing about VAPI right now is they have put this generate button right here in which we can just generate the prompt without needing to make it manually as per the VAPI guidelines. So I have put the prompt, I'll submit the edit and let it generate the prompt. Okay, amazing. So it has made it. Let's accept the changes and let's see the prompt. Very persuasive and professional sales AI agent, blah, blah, blah. Industry, voice AI agent. Okay, I have put the dynamic variable as industry and response guidelines, task and goals. Begin by creating the user by the name with the variable name, which is great. Industry is fine. Okay, our agent is completely fine. Let's publish it. You can change all the voice and all of that things as you wish. It's not really important for this particular tutorial because I have made a full tutorial of how to do all of that separately. You can watch that and you can choose, let's say I'll choose GPT 4.1 Nano, which is the cheapest right now. And okay, all good. Let's publish this. Okay, so now we'll go to the API documentation to just get the JSON code for this particular HTTP make a request mode. So we'll go to the documentation of VAPI, which is right here. And what we have to do is we have to create a call. Okay. So these are all the variables that we can use. So let's just try and make what we want. So this is the default create call, and we'll just get our API key from VAPI. Right here, and we'll paste it right here. We authenticate it, fine. Now we'll have to create our actual request. So for that, we'll first of all, we have to do is assistant ID, which we'll get from right here. This is assistant ID, and if I send a request right now, it will need a phone number or a phone number ID, right? So the thing what needs to be added is phone number ID first, which is the number from which we'll place a call, which you will find in your dashboard. You can clone the ID and paste it here. If I send the request, now it needs the customer number or the customer ID. Okay, so now we will add a customer. Okay, and we'll keep it as open because we will dynamically map the. Now we'll also have to add something called as agent override, because we have to add values of all these things. All these things, the pitch, the industry, and all of that, which we'll be taking from this Google Sheet right here. Okay, so let's go back, and what we'll do is we'll add something called as agent override and variable values right here. And here, what we'll do is we'll create name, and we'll create as, what did we do right here? Profile, name, industry. Okay, industry, and we'll add one as pitch. Okay, so this is the JSON that we have. Let's just quickly send a request. It will throw an error because we will have to have a number before we can place the call. And I think I have made an error. We don't have to have the customer as an object. Instead, we have to have a phone number ID. So I have to have a number like that. Okay, so this is now correct. Now let's copy all of that, and now we'll create our HTTP node. So for that, we have to just pick the URL, which is right here, api.vapi.ai/call right here. We'll have to put a post method, and authorization is our API key, which is fine. And here we have to put assistant ID. And then we'll just go to the raw JSON and we'll copy this whole JSON like that. And we'll paste it right here. We'll delete all of the unnecessary things from here like that. And this is fine. Now we'll put these variables. So the name would be first name, the industry would be industry, and the pitch would be the pitch. Okay, and the number would be right here. So for that, we'll add a country code with plus, and this is everything that you will need to run this node. All right, so now we will click save. And now I have a router node. What this will do is once the call is placed, this will update the row J. What's the row J? Let's check it out. The row J is called. So it will change the called to yes or no, which is what we want. And then the most important thing, it will update the row number K, which is here, and it will put the call ID. So the call ID is the unique identifier for every single call that happens through your VAPI dashboard. And this will come very handy later when we have to extract the transcript, the URL, and every single thing that we will require for the post-call analysis in our automation. So for now, we'll just put we just update the call ID right here after the call is placed, right? So for now, let's have a demo of this. And because we can't call any of these, let me just put something of my own manually. And if it works manually for one record, it will work for every single thing. So let me just update it. Okay, so now I have made it as my own manually, and let me see if the automation works. So let me get my phone. So here is my phone, and let's run the scenario, and I hope everything works. Okay, it has run and it should. Yes, so we have a call. Let's see.
Hey, is this Rish?
Yeah, this is Rish. Hello.
Hello, Rish. I'm glad to connect with you. I'm a specialist in voice AI services, and I understand you're in the consulting industry. Voice AI can be a game changer for consultants like yourself, especially with like the numerous client interactions you manage daily. Imagine empowering your team with solutions that streamline communication, instantly capture and organize inquiries, and provide real-time insights. This technology can enhance productivity, improve client experience, and give you a competitive edge. Let's transform your communication processes and help your team close deals faster, keeping you at the forefront out of innovative consulting solutions. Do you have any questions or thoughts on how voice AI could fit into your work?
Yeah, what are you offering?
Great question, Rich. I'm offering voice AI solutions that can significantly enhance how you manage client interactions.
So you see, this worked and it has changed the flag to call, and we have a call ID, which is going to be crucial in the next step. So I think so far you have understood this first sequence and this second sequence. Now, the last thing is we have to set up a post call automation as well so that we can fill out all of these transcripts, recording URL, summary, and everything inside the same sheet that we'll have as a master data sheet for our cold calls, right? So I'll just set things up for you. So this is set up. So I have to filter only the called rows, which are right here, which should be yes, which is good. And we are aggregating everything. We are iterating everything correctly. The note should be, let me just quickly go to the VAPI documentation, see what is a get call. Maximize get call should be ID. So the call ID, let me take the call ID from here. Right here. Let's go back to VAPI. Let's test our request. And we have all the responses, everything that we have done in this call. This is exactly what we have to replicate inside our scenario, but for all the rows, So let's go back here and we'll do a get method to the API slash call, which is good, get. And here we have to use the ID. So ID is the query string and the call ID has to be taken from the sheet, which is right here, the K column. Okay, this is fine. Everything is fine. We have to parse the response. Yes. Okay. And now we have to update with things. So all of these are already there inside this. We have to update this transcript, recording URL. I think I've put transcript once again. I'll edit this. Summary, end reason, and cost. Okay, so this sounds really good. Let me save it and let me make it side by side. And let's run this in front of you. Let's go. So you see, transcript, recording URL, transcript, I have put this 2 times. I'll fix this. And then we have summary, call involved specialized AI reason, ended reason was customer ended the call, and the cost was 18 cents. So everything is working perfectly now, and we have this whole automation which we can scale to n number of people, and instead of sending cold emails we can actually give out specialized personalized cold calls at scale, and everything is being done, like nothing is being done that is a template. We are getting the prospects here, and we are instructing the OpenAI to look at each and every LinkedIn profile and form a pitch. We are saving that pitch here. Then we are getting every single row one by one, and then we are making calls via VAPI, which is uh, right here. And we have created a custom agent for us for this particular calls, and we have included these dynamic variables inside our prompts so that whenever the agent calls, they would have the name, industry, and the pitch already in its mind to pitch or tackle any objections that the customer might have. And once that is done, we are updating the call status to called yes, which you can see right here. Yeah, so this flag turns yes, and immediately we'll get a call ID, which would be handy to pull out the call details from the third automation, where we can just give a get request, and we can get all of these filled in our Google Sheet for this particular call. And since we have the aggregator and iterator inside this, so if we have multiple calls placed right here, we will have everything filled in one by one, all automatically. Everything is done for you. And the only thing you have to apply your mind is how to get a compelling pitch and how to find the actual prospect customers who are going to listen to what you're saying. Please don't spam, because that's the easiest way to get blocked. So this is what we have done so far, and I don't think I have seen this kind of system built anywhere else. If you have, let me know. And if you found any value from this video, do consider subscribing to my channel. The links to sign up for Apify, I have links to sign up for Make, I have these blueprints available for you. Everything is there in the descriptions. Check it out, give it a spin, and let me know how it works out for you. Till next time, take care.